Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Once again, new series for us here, the Midwest Days of Thunder Cup Series. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Rocky Game 150 brought to you by Jinx Shifters. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Jason over here, Signature Esports.
Welcome everybody to a new season. That's right, we are live with the Midwest Days of Thunder Xfiniti season series opener, and that would be these duels at Daytona. I am your host, Alan Brown, and I am joined in the booth by Mr. Alan English. How excited are you for this new season, man?
And you know me, I love restrictor plate racing or whatever you want to call it nowadays. I know a lot of the cars don't have restrictor plates anymore, but I love pack racing. I love Daytona. This 2.5 mile track is going to give us lots of action today. You've got a lot of new faces moving up from ARCA. A lot of old heads that are still sticking around Xfiniti. So there's going to be get to know your neighbor day today. So expecting lots of action. We're really looking forward to this high-speed race today.
Yeah, and down on a busier than usual pit road, that would be Mr. Adam Turner. Adam, I haven't seen this many drivers, in this league in quite a while. And tell us, man, it's getting good.
Oh, I'm going to tell you. So right now, see, I retired after last season. I didn't know if I'll formally announce it, but I'm here in the booth with y'all. And this is probably the only type of track that a driver like myself could actually win, because you can go from last to first in no time here because of all the activity and crazy stuff that happens. And yeah, we have 2 duels tonight, and this is the first of 2, and this is for your starting position in the Daytona race next week. So it's going to be interesting. Like Alan said, new faces have come up from ARCA, and you got the old guys, and they haven't raced together, so we may see some heated action and fireworks, which is right up my alley.
Yeah, so the MDOT Xfiniti Series is proudly presented to you by Adrenaline Spike Designs. They are there for your car customization needs. Feel free to hit them up. I believe they are on Facebook, and
that is correct.
I believe the MPN team used them quite a bit, and all of their paint schemes week in, week out look amazing. So definitely go hit them up. In for 35 laps here at Daytona International Speedway, all of that at 200 miles per hour. Our key to the race today is just go out there and have fun. This is, the only time that points aren't really into play here. I mean, this is just setting up the starting grid for the official start of the season, which would be next week here at Daytona.
And the great thing is, we don't just get one race tonight. We get a twofer. We get 35 laps with half of the field right now, and then a little while later, if y'all stick with us, we've got another 35 lap race with the other half of the drivers. So we're looking at fielding an entire field just like they would in a real life Xfiniti race. We're looking at probably 35 cars being on the starting grid next week. I'm sorry. So this setup for the duels is you may only see 17 cars out there or so right now, but stay tuned for the second race, your bonus race, and you'll get to see the rest of them.
Well, and then what do you think when we combine the two? How crazy is that going to get? That's going to be so fun to watch. And they're both throwing down some laps. Looks like John Needing, number 8, has the lowest qualifying time right now. But what is your position here? Are you going to qualify, or are you just going to set this one out and ride in the back?
You know me. I'm gonna try to sit back and ride it out, because this is not the end all be all. It's about where you finish in this race determines where you start in the race next week. So I don't put a whole lot of seriousness on this race. It's I think of it more as a learn who you're racing with kind of race. Starting position is not entirely critical in a pack race and plate race, plate track race like we're going to have next week. So I'm just going to start in the back and have fun today. And then if I do get a great finishing position, great. If I don't, great. It's still going to be all up to next week.
It's kind of like meet the teacher night, right? I mean, that's really what you're doing. You're just
student orientation, yeah.
you're just kind of getting used to who's who, because like we said, a lot of these guys in this progressive league of Midwest Days of Thunder have just promoted from the ARCA series to Xfinity, and this is their first go at it. And there's going to be some nerves. Some of them are going to try to show themselves, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, to use your analogy, I mean, you might be sitting next to the athlete, or you might be sitting next to the kid who eats his own boogers. So we may see a little bit of both of that tonight. But in all seriousness, this is not a points race. It's just determining the starting order for next week. So hopefully these guys don't take it serious to the point where things get too heated. I know you like the fireworks, though, Adam.
I do, and I hope we see some fights, and I think we'll already build a rivalry just off of this alone, just knowing how competitive these guys are. Brown, what do you think about this race?
What I think is it's, especially these new guys, it's time to kind of start shining nice, bright, and early. I mean, we were riding around there with Manny Valdez, who was last season's champion, so everybody is trying to chase after him right now. So as the qualifying just finishes up here, but yeah, that's if I'm Manny, I'm kind of watching my back, because some of these new guys, they know how to drive, but not to mention we've got some older veterans that are still in this series, so they're looking to maybe get some spoils to what they might have missed out on last season.
Like you say, you got a lot of old vets in here still. One team I'm going to be watching their debut in Xfinity is those cats over at MPN. Carlos Ramos blowing up our Facebook stream saying MPN. He's pulling for John J. Timms and Chris tonight. Darrell Whitlow also chiming in on Facebook, telling these guys to go ahead and burn it down. Alan Dixon not racing. He says he can't be there to run with us tonight. But don't worry, Alan Dixon, we'll see plenty of you upcoming later this season.
As our drivers are starting to find their spots on this starting grid, we will do our official grid rundown. That would be Mr. John Neidick getting the pole position in that number 8 car, beating out Manny Valdez by 0.01. He's going to be starting on that outside. Got Brian Privet starting in 3rd with Anthony Fry in 4th. You got Alex Goff. I believe he's a newer guy for this season. He's going to be starting in 4th with, excuse me, as my people are all getting all funky, with Joe Neidick starting in 6th. You got Phil Stannert in 7th and Gary Sack the 3rd. He's another new guy coming up from ARCA. He's going to be starting in 8th. Mike Pimpere, he's been here since, I believe, day 1. He's going to be starting in 9th, and John Timms rounding out your top 10.
7 of Gavin Marlin's going to be starting in 11th on the grid today. The 22 of Justin Barkley, another one of them old heads that's been around for a long time. He's going to be rolling off 12th. Matt Forens in the 10 car. He's going to be starting 13th place. Greg Klein in the 92, starting 14th. Tim Harmon, Angry Idiot team member as well, is in the 73. He's going to be starting in 15th. The 13 of Christopher Wages will be rolling off 16th today.
And then looks like Mike Hornbeck in the 84, number 1 Jason Ricketts, and 54 of Wade Brooks. I just want to mention I saw what I think was the 89 of Gary Sack get into somebody on pit lane there, so it started early. Yeah, we do have
already
one fast repair. So,
oh man, who did he get into? The 24.
I believe.
Oh yeah, the 24 Joe Neidick. It looks like he backed into a telephone pole. The green's out.
Green is out, getting ready to go through the tri-oval across the line for the first time this season. John Neidick leading him down into turn number 1. 2 wide racing. Looks like John's getting a nice push there from Brian Privet.
Sorry, I went a little bit long on you there, Brown. Still too wide, way back, way back. These guys did get some practice together today, so look forward to seeing a little push in, a little shoving. They're getting used to how each other drive already, believe it or not.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see this for a little bit. What line is best? Who's going to stay with who's teammates with who? I still got a kick out of that back end of the 24 car. Boy, it does look like a telephone pole backed into it.
Inside line making a pretty good run here. Looks like they have the advantages. Gary Sack in the 24 and the 64. It looks like 72 is going to stick with the outside line here. Too wide, about 6 rows back here.
As the 21 of Mike Pear pushes up the hill just a little bit, but everyone's staying A-OK. Oh, someone going all the way down below the yellow. Gavin, I wonder if he's deciding to, maybe I'm going to sit back and watch this one from the back for a little bit and make a late charge.
Adam, is that a strategy move here?
I mean, it should be. I would have done the same thing. That way he can come to the end of the race and just, whack you at the end. That's what racing's about when you get close to the finish line.
Yeah, these guys that are moving up from ARCA, they've got to get used to this one fast repair setup that they have now in the Xfiniti series. Not too like they used to have. As look at the 55, looks like he's going to let everybody around.
I think he's having some technical issues, actually. Just kind of looking at it.
It did look like he was kind of having some connection. Yeah, he was blinking a little bit, which, when you're up at the front is something you don't want to see. But at the same time, hopefully he can stay on the draft and make something later on in this race. But your new leader is going to be Alex Goff with John Neidick sitting right behind him. Manny has not left that high line as John moves up to that high line to try to get a run around Alex.
What do you think of that Hubba Bubba paint? That one's kind of different. We hadn't seen anything like that in a long time.
Yeah, it's good. Stands out. Looks good. He's holding it in a good line right now as those two guys fight, try to get in front of him.
Yeah, it looked like John was able to pull Manny up, and they were able to go 1 and 2. So now John Neidick, your leader, with Manny pushing him. I don't know if those two are teammates or not.
Either way, it looks like everybody's it's shaking out to where everybody wants to be on the bottom right now. As you see Tony Fry up there leading that outside line. They're just going nowhere.
I think we pretty much have everyone in the main pack right now in the draft, except for I think that's the 55 of Privet.
Yes.
Yeah, so Privet's, he had to drop back, so he's lost the draft, but everybody else is kind of hanging in there and, strategizing, trying to figure out what they're going to do.
Joe Neidick out there by himself. Up, he found a slot and jumped back down in front of Chris Wages there. Yeah, he didn't want to be out there by himself for much longer.
Yeah, they're single file now. That you got to just stay with the pack for now. You got to.
Yep.
You still have 30 laps to go. It's it's not long, but it's a good amount of time.
It's a good amount of time.
Tony Fry moving up and letting the 77 and the 73 of Harmon by. Not sure if he has an issue or he just got tired of how hot it was getting up there.
That's the other thing too. These are fixed setups, and you cannot adjust the tape on that front grille. So if you get too up close to somebody a little too long, you will start to deal with some overheating issues.
Look at Mr. Maine, Michael Pimpere. He's run the fastest lap so far, it's looking like.
And he's sitting there in the draft, sitting in 5th. Now, I wasn't able to see, but what do you think these guys' fuel run is looking like? Are they able to make it all 35 laps, or do you think they're going to have to come down at some point?
Well, now that what are they running? 70% fuel here? It's going to be close. I'm not sure if they can make the whole 35, but look for a caution to happen here at some point in the race. And I think if a caution does come out, these guys will probably make it.
It's just fuel. I mean, I don't think you're going to need tires on a track like this.
I don't think so.
unless you're just that guy running in the back and you think you might as well take him. But
And look for maybe look for the 24 to hope for a fast repair, just so he can fix that damage that he incurred under the yellow before we even got this race started. That rear end is tore up. His spoiler's way up in the wind, so look for him to use that one fast repair probably if we do get a caution here.
Yeah, if it's affecting him, it's very slightly. As he's hanging around, so we'll see how he works out here as it progresses. But now they're stacking up too wide again. What's going on up here?
I bet that damage would hurt him a lot more if he was a lead car, but as long as he's staying behind somebody, I think he's good.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brown.
I was just going to say, I don't know if now's the time to try to make that run up there on that top line, but it looks like they're starting to gain a little bit of momentum before that turn, but they might need at least one more, if not two more cars there to actually make a run up towards the front.
Yeah, Xfiniti new guy Gary Sack trying to push Pimpare. It looks like Barkley behind him. They're all trying to kind of stay in line, but it's looking a little wavy up there.
Yeah. Boy, rookie got himself into a little situation, didn't he? Now, friend or foe? Who's your friend? Who's your foe? And they're going to find out here.
As that top line is getting a run, Mike Pimpare being pushed to the lead there by Gary Sack. Big run on that outside.
Oh, what a run. Do you jump down and leave them? Or do you stick with your buddies behind you? Oh, it looks like they're wrecking. There goes the 8.
Yeah, and that's a rookie mistake.
Yep, big wreck.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Hornback hits the 73.
Yep.
Just had nowhere to go there.
Little early
Hey.
to be doing some racing like that, and that's going to cause some major problems here.
That's
for
the
these
plate
cars.
race. That's what we're here for, though. That's what we're here to see. It happens.
That it does. We'll go take a look back, but I can kind of guess what happened there. I think Gary was trying to come down with Mr. Pimpare as he was clear on that outside. Let's take a look here. That's what it was, and he was not clear on that inside, so it all got bunched up and jumbled, and man, talk about a mess.
Oh, well, we were watching it, he was getting antsy. He saw that, what he thought probably was light at the end of the tunnel there. He was getting close to the lead. As a young man, I'm sure he's trying to do the best he can, but he definitely wasn't clear, and it caused quite some carnage behind him.
Yeah, the 8 of John Nidek just slid down all the way to the inside there. Didn't see if he had any damage from it. Unfortunately, a lot of these guys did suffer some damage, and I saw a couple of hoodless and fenderless cars that are probably going to be using that one fast repair.
As they do come down pit road, it looks like Mr. Pimpare and Alex Goff are staying out, so they must have faith in their fuel strategy here.
Quite a few takers towards the rear, though. You see that, Adam?
Yeah,
A ton of them come.
we got quite a bunch of guys come down, and why not? You have the one, but now are there going to be a second big one? So, this is a gamble. If you have enough damage, you don't have a choice. You have to get out there and get it fixed. And
Yeah. Third of the way here, I mean, yeah. Using your fast repair a third of the way through, there's a lot of racing to be done still here.
That there is, as Manny wins the race off of pit road, so he will be in third. Greg Klein moving up a lot of spots there, coming up to fourth. John Timms shortly behind him. Looked like Anthony Fry not having the best of pit stops there, and it's kind of the same thing with Joe Nidek, but we still got a lot of racing left here, and like you guys said, this is a plate track where anything can happen.
right, and 55 of Brian Privet, now he's back in the draft, so that's something good for him.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like our couple big movers today. Greg Klein is up 10 spots, Angry Idiot.
Oh, wow.
Right now he's setting P4, and of course Michael Pimpare, Mr. Maine, he's currently in first, and he's moved up 8.
Yeah, he took that great push of the 89 and the 22 behind him Those three cars were staying pretty close together, and that's how they got such a huge run. But as soon as Pimpere dove down to that inside line, I guess there's something called target fixation. You motorcycle riders know what I'm talking about. He was just looking at the back bumper of the 21, and it looked like he just kind of followed him down there and caused that deal.
And yeah, that is what it looked like. Either that or there was a miscommunication. And I mean, these cars are pretty loud. We'll do a crank it up section here later on, just so you guys can hear just how loud these things are. But he may not have also heard his spotter.
Yeah, but tunnel vision, I think, is a lot of it. Like you said, whatever you just called it there, English Mr. Motorcycle Man. But it's the same concept. And that's kind of just looking at it. That's what it looks like we saw there.
Yeah, and especially if you're racing on a flat monitor. I mean, you don't have a lot of spatial awareness other than what's directly in front of you. So you're really relying on that spotter, whether you have a live spotter who's another flesh and blood person, or if you're relying on that automated spotter that iRacing provides. Sometimes you just don't hear them until it's too late, and it sure was too late.
They're stacking up. It looks like we're getting close to starting again, and hopefully we see a nice restart here, and we don't have a cautions type situation.
Yeah, Michael Pimpere, your leader, going to take us to that green flag. Alex Goff on his outside. Greg Klein hopefully gonna give Mike that nice push with... Oh no, they actually got flipped around. Looks like Manny's gonna be starting on that inside with Greg on that outside. So we shall see as the pace car comes down pit road one more time. Green flags a waving, and away we go. Mike and Manny kind of getting a little gap there on that restart.
Oh yeah, Double O looks like he didn't get the restart he wanted, but Greg Klein's pulling right up on his rear bumper. Greg is a great pusher, so we'll see if he can push that outside line car of Alex Goff up to the front here. Keep your eye on him.
As it looks like the number 10 of Matt Forns is making a move and might bring them up along with him. So he had a nice run there. He was a little back in the draft.
Klein looks... Go ahead.
Matt Forns there in the Red Dog machine. He's working harder than the real Mrs. Poindexter. He's trying to side draft his way to the front is what it looks like.
Yeah, and we've seen that here before. Guys side drafting both lines and sneaking up the middle. I mean, it can be done here. As the 00 of Alex Goff gets in behind Greg Klein, who jumped down to that middle line. Look at Neidick and Barkley on the outside. Big old run for them guys. Do these tandems run pretty good, or?
I think you need a little more help than just one other person. I mean, you can kind of see they're kind of staying stationary there. Now that they've got a couple more cars to start to move forward a little bit, but I think you need at least 4 cars to be making up any moves.
Horns definitely saw it in his mirror. Did you see that, Adam?
Yeah, he just jumped up there and wanted to join the fun is what he did. Like just the real Annabelle Peaches, man. So pretty awesome stuff.
Got a secondary pack. Well, it's not even really a pack. It's 13 in the 7. A couple seconds back. 89 of the 89 trying to stay with them. 84 of Mike Hornbeck still without a hood. In the 8 of John Neidick, kind of off by himself right now. They're definitely going to be losing a lot of ground in this lead pack.
And I wonder if they are trying to save that fast repair for if there's another big one later on. But at the same time, if this thing goes green, they're really hurting their chances.
84 definitely did not use his. He's still without a hood. Oh, it's the 21.
21.
Gets loosened up by the 72.
And he
3 wide.
barely hangs on to it, but Gary Sack behind him also going way down there. So that's going to split them all up by quite a bit. So Matt Forns is your current leader with Joe Neidick and Justin Barkley all pushing him. Manny is still just on the outside edges of that draft, but unless they can get reformed quickly back there, they might start having to try to push to catch these 3.
Woo, what a show.
I'm telling you, and this is the type of race where you go from champ to chump in 0.3 seconds, and vice versa. That's the crazy part about these big tracks, these plate tracks, as you call them, English.
55 trying to get somebody to go with him on the outside there. No takers so far. We've seen him blink out a couple times. He may have some connection issues there as he blinks out again. The 77 and the 92 right behind him. They're not wanting to run behind him in that outside line just yet.
No, and it looks like our main pack was able to reform just a little bit. It's about 8 cars, give or take, long, and they're all single file except for the 22. Justin Barkley trying to work something on that outside. I don't know if he just kind of maybe gotten shuffled back there or what, but he's got no help. He might end up dropping back here.
That looked like a conscious decision by the Macaroni Man. He just moved up there thinking that somebody come with him, and Manny said, "I'll take that spot."
But don't look now, Crazy Phil Standard in that crazy looking paint scheme. Those 3 cars flew up. Crazy Phil, Mike Pinfair, and Alex Goff all just caught up to the pack.
These cars suck up so well in the draft, don't they, Alan?
Yeah, that they do, as we now have a nice large pack forming up once again. Looks like we're going too wide back there, about the 2nd or 3rd row back.
64 Tony Fry trying to figure out what to do here. He's got a blinker ahead above him, and the 77 below him here. He doesn't really. He's still in Barkley's draft though, and he's going to get some help from the 00 Alex Goff here.
Yeah, it looks like that was the 55 of Brian Privet, still having some connection issues here, so he politely moved himself kind of back to this pack, not to give up the race, but maybe not be quite in the mix of it quite yet.
That's a classy move, isn't it, Adam? I mean, if you're blinking and you are, you don't want to cause the next big one.
Yeah, it's a gentleman's sport until the last lap. So be a gentleman until the final lap, and then you can just jam it down the guy's throat next to you.
Happened to you in a practice race a night or two ago.
I don't recall anything that's ever happened to me terrible in iRacing. It's a simulation, not a race. All you race fans know that, and some of us take it a little too serious sometimes. But hey, it's fun stuff, and these guys are competitors. And looks like we have us a little race here.
That it does. As trying to see who's doing what. I mean, Forns is up there in the lead, but Justin Barkley having some luck on that outside as the bottom line gets pretty squiggly there. You got Joe Nidick pushing Matt, and Manny kind of sitting right behind them. And
well, and I feel a little bad for John Nidick in the 8 car. He's running 17th. I mean, this guy's from Ohio, just like Johnny Paycheck. I mean, tough people up there. So he's got to be not liking the situation back there.
Barkley leading this outside line. Tony Fry getting up there behind him with Alex Goff. These guys are going to have to hold a little bit better of a line behind Barkley if they're going to help him get this outside line moving. They're kind of stalled out right now, but don't count them out.
No, it looks like that bottom line is holding pace pretty well, kind of staying in that single file as we see him kind of move up and down a little bit, but not too bad. But yeah, they're not moving backwards, which is the kind of the big thing, but they're also not moving forwards.
And we've seen a lot of safe driving as far as side drafting. The guys have not been very aggressive with the side draft today, which makes it depends on how you look at it. It makes for good, clean racing. There's not as many cautions. The guys smashed into the car on the low side or high side. But also, you get what you get right here. You get 2 stalled out lines. As it looks like the outside line is maybe making a little ground on Forns here.
Starting to make a little ground.
Oh, the 64 gets into him. They're wrecking.
Man.
As we have our second big one happening right there at the front.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's why you don't want to be driving in the front with like 10 laps to go here. I mean, people get a little antsy, and things
Yeah,
happen.
the 64 and the 10 got together. Not sure if one came up or the other came down, but the 22 also paying the price for that because he's just kind of an innocent bystander at that point.
We're going to pretty much reverse the field here. You know, there's going to be some guys from the back come to the front, and those guys in the back or in the front are going to go to the back. And everybody still has a chance at this point.
And look, the 84 did not use his fast repair. So he was riding around. He's been riding around with no hood. He gets to stay on the lead lap and line up again behind these guys. So maybe he'll hold on to it for a little bit longer, that fast repair, I mean.
Right. And I think Gavin Marlin, he was riding 13th. Right now he looks like he's P4. So he's going to take advantage of this situation that happened in front of him.
Now, as we are going to be getting another caution. So,
Yeah.
obviously, these guys that have damage are going to come down and pit, but I don't think any of these guys will else. I don't think they need fuel. I don't think they need tires. So, I think it's just a matter of keep your car clean at this point through the race, and you should hopefully be in for a pretty good finish.
Eric Fiorello posted on the YouTube and said it looked like maybe net code from the 64 to the 10. It's kind of hard to see on the replay, but Eric, you know that just like we do that iRacing is a great program. They do the best they can, but yeah, we still get a little net code from time to time.
Yeah, it did look like a little bit of netcode, but I don't think we can place all the blame on the netcode there. I think he was just drifting up just a little too much.
I think it still would have happened.
There was definite movement there, and it could have been aero, netcode, whatever you want to call it. But we got quite a few guys in pit road fixing all their stuff and maybe topping off with gas.
Like the 84 did elect to use his fast repair. I see a hood back on that machine. So the 84, Mike Hornback getting back out there with a mostly complete car now.
Yeah, which is good, but we did talk about this earlier. These guys need to get used to, especially the new guys. You only get the one fast repair. You don't have two like you did in ARCA, where, if in ARCA, if you were running at a plate track, yeah, you can get away with, one wreck and you're still kind of safe and whatnot. But now it's, if you get into a wreck, you got to take care of that car.
Adam, we talked about this before. Don't you think having one or even zero fast repairs makes you race cleaner? I mean, does it make you more careful?
Oh, yeah, definitely it does. Zero fast repairs, you're going to be driving super conservative till the end. One, pretty much the same. So I think these guys are going to get used to that. Right now they're probably used to having two fast repairs, and it's not really something that's crossing their mind. But you definitely have to be a little more safe here with only one fast repair, especially on a crazy track like this. Anything can happen, Just get caught up in something. As I see, the fastest chicken in the South has worked his way back to P2, number 72 of Manny Valdez.
Like we got 10 to go here, Brown.
We will have 10 to go when the lights turn green. Joe Neidick is going to be leading us off. Manny on his outside. The 77 of John Timms is going to be trying to push Joe for that win and maybe give himself a position to make something happen. New to this season, Gavin Marlin, he's up there right now. He's in 4, so he's done a pretty good job after that first incident to fight back and maybe make something happen here tonight.
Eric Schimmel posted on Facebook, he said the view from the 64 from the left front suspension camera shows that they hit pretty hard. But he said it was just racing. There was, like we talk about, there's no ill intent there. It was just a racing incident.
No, so now if you're Matt Forns, I believe he got lucky and missed that first caution. So he still has a fast repair, so he should have a relatively clean car. So he's got some fighting to do. He's going to be starting in 14th. Gary Sachs still is trying to fight his way back up. He's currently in 12th. And Brian Privet hopefully can get that internet situation figured out here. He's going to be starting in the 9th and 10th area as the pace car coming down pit road, getting ready to take this green flag, and away they go, winding those engines up. Looks like no big runs here, but the 77 of Tim's not on that bumper of Joe. He's kind of leaving him in the dust, which is going to help that top line. That top line's going to get a big run through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, here they come. The 24 and Nidek's kind of a sitting duck right now with no help right on his bumper. But this ain't over. The 4's coming up. Trying to help the 77, but once again, not being able to hold a perfect line is maybe helping this, or hurting this lower line as we see Manny jump down. The 7 to Gavin Marlin stays up high. He's got help from the 8.
He does have help from the 8. These two have raced together a little bit, but not too much. So new to the series, Gavin Marlin, your current leader, as he jumps down in front of Manny.
He just left John Nidek out to dry, so he'll probably remember that as we come around here and still double filed action.
And John still has that plenty of help on that outside line.
84's an old head. He's been around for a while. Let's see how good he can push, especially if he's got the 22 and the 55 behind him.
Yeah, Mike Hornbeck's been around, and you're going to see some of these guys that have been around. I think they're going to make their move here shortly. And the fast cars, like Matt Ford we saw earlier, we should see him start moving up. I think he's fixed up, ready to go.
As they come into this tri-oval, 8 laps to go, this time across the line. Manny just deciding to finish pushing Gavin. He wants to take that lead back. He's up on that outside, getting some help from that 8 car of John Nidek, but that move kind of stalled out a little bit, and there are 2 wide. Gavin getting a light run there on that inside line.
Yeah, the Nidek boys pushing different cars here, but staying side by side for the most part. As the 8 pushing the 72, they get a huge run as the 72 drops back down again on him.
Boy, he's gonna learn that one, boy. I'm gonna tell you. So you gotta make friends here and not try to make enemies, and that's Manny's. He's just kind of floating around, doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, is that a case of, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me?
It could be, very much could be, as we see Gavin come up on that high line. So he wants to see what happens here.
Look at all this 2 wide up front. This is awesome. Great racing action we're getting.
This has been excellent racing action here today. And, I mean, the last few laps here, we've basically seen the same 3 or 4 people just do a kind of circle dance, going high and then low and then high and then low, all switching positions for that lead, as Gavin in that top line seemed to be losing momentum there.
Looks like they're maybe trying to... Go ahead, Adam.
No, I was just saying they seem to have a run. They seem to stall out. I don't know if they're not forming up correctly or it's just not a good place to run right now.
It may be which line gets organized the quickest here. Is you got 3 cars, mostly nose to tail on the outside here. Let's see if they can make a run on the 24 and the 72. 77 kind of playing it safe, not getting as close to the 24 as he probably should, as we got the 7 of Gavin Marlin nosing out in front. Let's see what happens here.
Nosing out in front, not quite clear just yet, and that bottom line through that corner is going to get that run back. So they had a good push there up on that top line, as it looks like John Nidek has had enough, and he's going to drop back down to that inside line.
He's had enough, and it seems that's where they stall out in 3 and 4.
Oh, but the 24 of Joe Nidek is going to peek out in the front and hop in front of him.
Position.
Oh, as Gavin gets turned.
Gavin.
Oh!
84 upside down.
That was a big one, boys.
My goodness. The 84 just got right into the corner panel. Looked like the 7. Didn't look intentional at all, but the Hubba Bubba car turning the 84 over on his roof and flipping.
Well,
He's
Hubba
out of
Bubba
fast.
car didn't have a choice. Mike Hornback in '84 car looked like turned Gavin there, and you know it's a racing incident. These cars start moving around. You're getting in that draft. You're getting out of that draft. You get out of that bubble. You know they're not easy to handle.
Now the 84 had a fast repairs too. If he makes it back around to the pits, he might be stuck in there for a while. Looks like he's smoking pretty bad too.
Lot of damage coming from that wreck, and the question is, who's going to have the least damaged car out here? I mean, you saw that kind of happen behind Manny, Joe, and John, but John has a little bit of damage already. Kind of shuffling through the cars. The 22 of Justin Barkley's very hurt. Compares not too bad. Harmon not too bad. But Gavin, man, talk about racing a great race up at that front and then just kind of unfortunately getting...
Well, I want to point something out that looks pretty interesting. We have what? Are we gonna have a green-white checkered here, Mr. Brown?
You know what? That's a great
we
question.
We may
just
squeeze it in.
Well, either way, regardless, Manny Valdez has worked his way to the front. But look at those Ohio boys. It's a gang, and they're going to come up there, and I don't think they're going to treat him very nicely here.
There's a lot of J's behind him. Joe, John, and Justin. They're all wanting to get on the front row at the Daytona race next week too. So they're not going to be cutting Manny any slack here.
No, but can we just give Mike Hornbeck some credit there? Maybe, can't all be him. It's just kind of physics, but I believe in ice skating, especially figure skating, they would call that like a double axle, and he landed it back on his wheels and was able to drive back to the pits. So
he stuck the landing for sure.
So talk about an interesting I mean, that was honestly in all of the league super speedway racing that I've ever seen and competed in. That was probably one of the most eye-catching wrecks.
When he was up and flying after getting hit by the 00, his landing, it may not have been a graceful ice skating landing. It may have been more like a Kerry Strug landing from years ago where he was hurt when he landed. But he was able to get it back around to the pits somehow.
Well, I thought you were talking about Nancy Kerrigan landing. That's what that looked like with a baseball bat.
You don't remember Kerry Strug? Remember she hurt her ankle and remember her Russian trainer screaming at her, "You can do it! You can do it!" and made her go out and do it again.
I don't know. That's been some years, but I do remember a couple ice skaters hitting each other with bats, or some hooligans hitting one ice skater with a bat, and that was pretty awesome.
Hiring a hooligan to do it for her.
I mean, you really can't make that up, man. And that's kind of what we're going to see here. I hope these Natick boys take the bat to Manny and we really see some damage happen. Just my personal opinion, guys.
My God.
I mean, I like Manny. I think he's a hell of a racer, but I like to see the
violence
fireworks
too, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
Sorry,
man.
my bad. I'm gonna tone it down. But it's been fun. I'm getting excited. I'm liking watching.
Oh, man.
this.
Man,
I can't help but get excited watching one of these.
I know, and I mean, yeah, this is 35 laps, and we're going to see another one last 35 laps, but these guys get to do it next week for, I believe it's 75 laps, and that's with both dual splits together and some people that didn't quite make the duels. So we're going to have a nice big field next week, and from what I'm seeing, man, it's getting me excited. Now, let me ask you guys, as I'm not seeing too much here at the front. Are there any cars that are, other than the front 3 or 4, that are still clean?
Well, the 00 looks like he's got a brand spanking new one because he went in and used his fast repair, I believe. Let me switch to a chase view here.
Yeah, he's looking clean. I think we're gonna have several guys that are somewhat clean here that may make it to the front. Don't count out 21 of Mr. Maine, Michael Pimpere. He looks pretty clean from what I'm looking at, too.
Yeah, the 89's missing a cowling, but 21 doesn't look too bad. The 7 of Gavin Marlin looks like he's got a brand new clean car. So, man, keep your eye on that 7 for sure. And the Hubba Bubba of Alex Goff in the 00, he looks like he's got a new car too. So, the 7 and the 00 for sure. See
What
if they
about
can,
Mr. Macaroni there in the 22? How's he looking? Looks pretty shiny from here. Minus the front end.
As we get ready
I lost.
to, yep, as we get ready to take the green flag one more time, our first of 2 attempts at a green-white checker. Manny gonna lead us down to that line. Green flags waving. Looks like Joe got a great jump on that outside, but the 8 of John is gonna be right there on the back of Manny to help push him and that bottom line back forward. The 24 of Joe Nidick not being able to quite complete it as he has no help on that outside right now.
You had to answer your question. The 22, he's missing a lot of crap that's you should probably have for Arrow. The 7 and the 00 get together like we thought they might. Behind the 21 of Mike Pimpare as they're joining the big freight train that's running past the 24 of Nidick on the outside. Here comes 21 jumping up in front of Nidick. Let's see if they can get together and make something happen. I don't think there's just too many cars running on the bottom for these guys to make a... They need some help. Looks like the 4 might help them.
And I think they might need some more help than that as we take the white flag. This race will end on this lap. No more cautions. 21 getting a big run on that outside line with the help of the 24 and the 89.
Wow, you can't ask for a tighter pack right here to finish this race. This is going to end in an exciting way.
Oh, as Manny, maybe went for the block. He gets a little loose. Big Rex behind him, the 89, spinning down into the grass, but it looks like Joe Nidick and Michael Pimpare fighting it out up for the lead. Gavin pushing Joe all the way through turns 3 and 4. Let's see if he can get a run coming down this final stretch, peeking below the line. Not quite there. Got Alex Goff on his outside, not going to be able to get some room, and across the line they go with Joe Nidick picking up the win. Gavin in second and Alex in third.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought Gavin might pull something like he pulled on you the other night.
I knew it was coming. He tried. I think he tried. He just couldn't pull it
man.
off.
Joe Nidick go with the win here tonight. Wow, what a finish.
Exciting race.
Man,
And guess what, folks? We got another one coming.
You know, this is why I love plate racing, right? Anything
Yes, sir.
can happen on that final lap, and we saw it. Just about everything happened on that final lap, and man, it made for an exciting finish.
Champ to chump. That's what happens. You never know. Chump to champ. So, wow. Great final lap there. I think we have some things we should tweak for next week, but these guys are looking good. Good practice run for next week's race.
Ariel on Facebook saying, let's go 22. Sorry, Ariel, the 22 just couldn't quite get it done. It looks like he had a little bit too much damage there at the end.
And I think he actually got spun there coming kind of towards across the line, so he ended up finishing in 6th as we wait for our kind of top 3 to jump into that podium finishers channel here. And Joe celebrating this he's celebrating pole position. He has the inside pole position for the race next week, and man, that's a pretty good spot to start.
Yeah, I think the way they're doing it in these duels is this race determined the starting order of the inside line. The next race that we're going to do here in a few minutes will determine the starting order on the outside line of the Daytona race next Monday.
All right, so as they are jumping into that podium finishers channel, we will bring in Mr. Joe Nidick, who won this thrilling, epic final lap battle. Joe, man, congratulations. You have won the pole here at Daytona.
Yep, thanks, man. I was just at the last lap there. I just was trying to keep everything together there, make sure we didn't get caught up in anything. And I think the inside line must have got caught up in a little something, and I was on Pimpare pretty hard So I knew if I shoved him out as soon as I got clear, I jumped under him, and I knew at that point it was over.
Yeah, great finish, Joe. These plate tracks, man, you never know what's going to happen, especially when you got 2 wide, 4 deep, on the last lap. Everybody's sitting on their edge of their seats pretty much watching that.
Yeah, it was a little hairy. Even at the beginning of the race, it got a little hairy. I know the one wreck that happened, the racing got really, really aggressive in the middle of the race. I'm like, oh boy. But towards the end there, calmed down a little bit. We had a few cautions, a little bit of breathing room there, and then, I was like, pretty much when I come into this, I was either going to win it or finish last. That was it.
All right, man. Well, just before we let you go, because we got to get to that other race, let's just ask you, how forward are you looking to this next season?
I think it'll be good. I get into a lot of these plate races. Some of the Xfinity stuff, I like the 1.5 miles. I usually leave the short tracks to the other guys and stay up in Cup. I try not to come down too much. But if I get the running well, and I might stay down or race a few more races.
All right, man. Well, again, congratulations on the win here tonight, and starting on the front row next week here when we see you guys again at Daytona. So we wish you the best of luck, sir.
Thanks.
All right, so we will now bring in who's going to be starting on that second row, Gavin Marlin. Hey, Gavin, you got a copy?
10-4.
Hey, man, you fought hard today, couldn't quite get it done, but still you're going to be starting on that second row. How much excitement do you have for this upcoming season?
I'm pretty excited.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. You were right there at the end. Why didn't you turn the number 24 car?
It's just a duel, so I don't care.
I got you. I figured it was something like that.
I thought we were going to see a repetition of the practice race the other day where you took Turner out right there at the end. I was teasing him about it earlier today, but hey, man, that was just a practice race. This is we're getting into a new season, and we're glad to see you running up here in Xfinity. We're looking forward to watching you. What do you expect for the rest of the season?
Yeah, sorry, Turner. I got took out late in the race. So.
It's okay. It was practice, man. I think you're going to be gunning for the championship here in this next season, so we're looking forward to seeing you up front. If you ain't first, you're last, son.
That's right.
All right, Gavin, we will check you later, man, and good luck on the season.
Thank you.
All right, so we will pull in our third place finisher, Alex Goff. He's going to be starting on that third row inside line when we meet here again in 1 week. Hey, Alex, got a copy?
Like he's muted in the Discord channel.
It does.
Well, we could give him some comments about how cool his Hubba Bubba car was, but if he's muted, he's muted. On to the next one, son.
Yeah, so if I'm gonna try one more time, Alex, come on, man, unmute yourself.
Looks like he's trying.
Oh.
There he goes.
Hey, sorry about that.
Hey, there we go. Hey, man, well, you finished third here tonight in that wonderfully pink Hubba Bubba car. Man, you barely kind of made it through, but not quite on that last wreck before that last restart. And did you end up saving your fast repair just in case for that?
I did, yeah. I had a feeling there'd be at least one more. I was involved in a wreck before that, too, and we just had time under the caution, luckily, to pound most of it out and run around until the next chance.
That was a wise decision because the 84 did the same thing. He was missing a hood and still made quite a few laps, but stayed on the lead lap. Speaking of the 84, I think he's the one that went end over end right over the top of your car. What did that look like from your perspective?
It's kind of crazy. I mean, I'm just looking straight ahead. I'm trying to find a hole to go through, and, flash before your eyes. You got 1,000-pound stock car over your head.
Yeah, man. Well, again, congratulations. You're going to be starting on that inside line, row number 3. How excited are you for this upcoming season?
I'm really excited. I raced a little bit in the ARCA series, but Thursdays didn't really hook up well with my schedule. So Mondays are more free for me, so I should be more of a full-time driver. So we'll get ourselves a good look at the championship.
All right, man. That is what we like to hear. We wish you nothing but the best of luck for the upcoming season, and totally look forward to seeing you guys race more.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you guys.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
All right. So before we kind of switch over to that next race, we will do our race ending rundown. Joe Nidick with the win, so he's going to have pole position on that inside line. Gavin Marlin will be starting in second. Alex Goff in that third spot row. And Manny having some difficulties on that last lap. He's going to be in the 4th row. John Timms is going to start in that 5th row. In the 6th row, you will have Justin Barkley. 7th row, Mike Pimpere finishing 8th today. And on the 8th row, Mr. John Nidick, unfortunately just not having enough at the end there. In the 9th row, we will have Tim Harmon. And in that 10th row, we will have Mr. Christopher Wages Sr.
The tandem at Forms, he was running up front quite a bit, but was the unfortunate victim of a little bit of pack racing. He'll be starting inside row 11 next week. The 89 of Gary Sack the third will be starting right behind him in the row 12 inside. Crazy Phil Stannard will start row 13 inside, and Greg Klein finished a couple laps down tonight. Don't count him out though. He's one of those guys that loves these big tracks. He'll be starting inside row 14 next week.
Yeah, he doesn't like to lose. And 15th,
No, I don't.
84 of Mike Hornbeck, 16th, 55 of Brian Privet, 17th, 64 Anthony Fry. Then we have Wade Brooks and Jason Ricketts to round it out.
Yeah, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back from Daytona with our second duel. I would stick around because if that race is anything like this first one, we are in for a heck of a show. So we will be right back, hopefully within the next, 5 or 10 minutes. So just stick around and we'll be right back with you.
Did you guys mean to pull me down here?
Yeah, I was in the duel, so I don't know exactly what was happening everywhere on the track, but I can tell you what, it was real fun to run. I didn't make it out as well as I would have liked to have, but I got caught up in some stuff. Not sure what happened. Don't really care because I had fun.
Yeah. Really excited. I'm expecting a lot of great things out of this season. Like you mentioned, a lot of new guys in Xfinity moving up from ARCA, and like you said, they haven't raced together. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do on the track, how they handle these cars. They handle a bit differently from the ARCA cars, and well, I'm really looking forward to it.
I want to say something about our admin team. Our admin team didn't really get the credit they deserve. They build the schedules. They build these schedules that these guys race day in and day out. They handle clearing black flags and going back and reviewing things. So we really appreciate the job you guys do. Y'all are short-handed sometimes, as we know, but I know Tabor did a good job in picking you guys to not only set these races up, but officiate them as well.
Yeah, we tried. There's a lot of work that goes on in the background, and I think Derek and I, we admins of the Xfinity series. I think we get along pretty damn good, and we got it. Last Xfinity season, in my opinion, was probably the better season, in better series in the MDOT league. I mean, it's great racing, very little drama, just good racing all around, and I was doing it. We brought Derek on, and it wouldn't have been like that if I didn't have Derek's help. So yeah, it's fun. We try to give everybody a fun, competitive environment. So.
Yeah, Midwest Days of Thunder. Let's talk about that, Derek. I mean, the Xfinity series. You guys, I like to call you all the czars, kind of the big wigs. The head honchos. It was great last year because I retired. I'm retired from racing. I think I retired, but I had a hell of a lot of fun in the Xfinity series, and I think both of y'all had a big part in that because the way you set it up. And I would like to congratulate y'all for. Looks like you have a successful thing going on here.
Thanks, man. Like I said, Matt said before, we get along great. We work well together and communicate. It's probably one of the most key things. Yeah,
Well,
we enjoy it. We try keeping it fun.
I love it, but I also want to see some more fighting. I want to see some action. I want to see some rivalries. I want to see cars being crashed. I want to see some action, man.
I think you're gonna see that this season. Last season we had some good racing, but it was pretty clean all season long, for the most part. But this season, with some new people coming up and stuff like that, I think we're gonna start to see a little bit more beating and banging, a little bit bigger field. I think it's gonna be pretty good.
Well, with 30 seconds left to qualify, we'll let you guys get back to work. Thanks for coming down here in the booth and talking to us.
All right, but y'all have a good broadcast, man. We'll holler at y'all later.
Have a good one, guys.
All right.
looking forward to this one too. This one is going to be just as exciting as the first one. I have no doubt about it. And how about our admins, man? It's kind of cool to kind of see the man behind the curtain. You know what I mean? So I'm glad everybody got to hear from those guys, and we appreciate them. '37 of Matthew Spires will be starting in 11th. The 11 of Andrew Cole will be starting in 12th. The Angry Idiot number 60, Alan Ewens, will be starting in 13th tonight. The 25 of Eric Fiorello, another Angry Idiot, will be starting in 14th. And the 54 of Wade Brooks in 15th place to start tonight. I can't wait for this, Adam.
Yeah, let's rock and roll. And you talk about the man behind the scenes. So basically, they are the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
you picked up on it.
I got you. I picked up what you're putting down. I think we're on the same vibe. We got the same level of thought process. Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas. You know, just that general mid-South area of crazy thinking. You know, right? That's kind of how we get along too.
Some kind of weird telepathy down here around the Red River. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you don't want to drink that water. But man, Brown, have a good one, because you're going to have to call a fun race. I think we're going to see a bunch of two wide stuff here to start, like we did last time.
It's like we get pretty close to the pace car ducking off here.
And it's amazing. Well, look at these cars. I've been running through them, and they got some great paint jobs as they're running too wide here, lap one.
Yeah. Gary Sargent kind of running by himself there for a second, but the 16 and the 42 are flying right up on his rear end. Let's see if they can get a little bunched up here, and Adam, we saw it in the first race. You can't do it by yourself. You can't even do it with one buddy. You really need a plethora of cars, 3 or 4 or 5 cars, to get a good run and make that outside or even the inside line work, for that matter.
Oh, that's exactly right, man. And I didn't know plethora was in the Louisiana dictionary. That's some amazing stuff. Speaking of Louisiana,
Texas.
Brennan Stimpy car number 27, Red Stick. Mike Simone, man, that's kind of cool. Crazy paint.
Yeah, the Baton Rouge native still holding on to first place here. It's Gary Sargent challenging, but He's got a pretty good push from the 35 of Ethan Flanagan right here.
Well, Corey Wakefield's pushing Gary Sargent. Corey Wakefield in a Duracell car looks like an actual battery. I think we're seeing kind of like we saw last race. The top line just seems to lose it a little bit as they come into 3 and 4.
I love to run the low line on these big tracks, just because it's easier. You got an easy mark right there. That that double yellow line is easy to see. You don't have to rely on the car in front of you to hold the line necessarily. You can kind of keep track of that double yellow line and keep yourself straight. As 16 back and forth a little bit, but he's still staying on the 28's bumper. Gary Sargent, they're still neck and neck up here. How about this, man? We've got 6 cars deep that are too wide.
Yeah, they look pretty good out there. They're holding their line, and they look pretty good right now. At this point, nobody's getting too racy, and they're hanging in there and just putting in the laps.
Oh man, that's great watching them cars screaming by like that. It's beautiful.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, 16 trying to go by himself on the outside of Gary Sargent here. That's not going to work, buddy. It looks like he might get shuffled back here.
Yeah, I think he made a mistake, and he's just going to shuffle back, and unless somebody lets him in here.
Yeah, 11 letting him in, it looks like. And Lance is a hell of a wheel, man. It doesn't matter if he's being pushed or if he's pushing somebody else. That guy can do wonderful things in a race car. It looks like the 5 might sneak up here and try to help him out a little bit. Michael Chaney in the 5 Valvoline car choosing that outside line as well. Making it interesting.
Man, these guys are looking good, working hard, but you know who's really working harder than the real Mrs. Poindexter? I think it's us 3. This is a doubleheader. We were seeing all kinds of action, and man, they're kind of wearing me out watching this stuff.
Jeez. The 98 of Degner and the 5 car both stayed off the racing surface after they wrecked, so man, it sucks for these guys. They're going to have to try to get back up to speed here with all this damage.
I was on board with number 25, Eric Fiorello, and you can see it ahead of him. And he checked up big time, and he's lost the draft, so he's kind of been, it's almost like he was taken out as well, even though he didn't get any damage.
And that might have been a case of the 5 just kind of losing where he was on the track and maybe losing a little front grip. And he just went up and smacked the outside wall. And when he bounced off of it, that's when we had the problems. and as soon as get around and get that edge pair, if we do get a caution later on, he'll be able to catch back up, hopefully. And if he can't get back on the lead lap, he'll at least be able to make up one of his laps. Same thing for Isaac Degner. He's similar fate. He's in the pit right now, as a matter of fact. Oh, and he's driving out of the pit now. How about all this side-by-side action, Adam? We're seeing a lot of this tonight. You know, look at here in the front, 4 rows deep, 2 wide, a little bit of side drafting, a little bit of wiggling. Does it make you nervous?
Yeah, the wiggling does, but it's kind of par for the course. You know, these guys are, some of them might be new to this car, and this car is quite a transition from the ARCA car. You get outside that bubble, you get a little bit more aero. It's just different. It's just different. You just gotta get a lot of laps logged to kind of understand how the car works.
28, Garrett Sargent moving down in front of the 27 to Mike Simone. Leaving the sticks up there, but he's got help, and the sticks is side drafting a little bit on the bottom line. Trying to hold them guys back just a little bit to improve his position.
Yeah, like we said last race, friend or foe? Who's your friend? Who's your foe? You know, and they're going to figure all that out right now.
Friend or foe, sometimes you don't know. And kind of think it's one of those things it would kind of take a miracle for him to make a couple of positions. He needs a couple of guys to DNF to improve his position, his starting position in next week's Daytona race.
And that's what we're talking about. This is just for position for the next race. But how about this race, guys? Midwest Days of Thunder. I mean, investors, possibly you, right? I mean, this race needs more sponsors. This is some interesting stuff. These guys are professional style racers, and man, I'm already excited about this new season after my retirement.
I love the Step Brothers reference, but yeah, they're looking for race sponsors. They do have a title sponsor now for the Xfiniti Series. It's the Adrenaline Spike Designs, who paint these cars. And if you're looking for cool car paints, definitely go and hit them up. But yeah, they're still looking for race sponsors. So if you have a small business or a big business or whatever, contact the guys over at Midwest Days of Thunder. They'll get you hooked up and get you a race or 2 or 5 or however many you want to sponsor. So go look them up and get your business's name out there. We have a growing audience here, and we're trying to get businesses' names out there. So definitely contact them.
That Gary Sargent out front there in the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Still there. Gary Sargent up there in first, you know, where probably the Jacksonville Jaguars will probably never be, but he's definitely holding his own up there as the 6th. Side draft him a little bit again.
I was going to say he's a gambling man using that paint, but hey, to each his own. It looks cool. Just not a winning football team. No big deal.
Who dat? That's all I'm gonna say about it. Yeah, the 11 of Andrew Kolb, he's trying to stay with the 6, but nobody's really staying with the 11. The 42's kind of trying to play it safe. Angel Hernandez, and we know Angel could drive, man. We've seen it in the ARCA series. The guy's a great driver, but I think he's, as the 27 moved up in the out, that's a surprise.
Well, that was trickier in New Orleans on a Friday night. Wow, I don't know what he was doing there, but it worked.
The 42 coming up from ARCA with his MPN buddies, he's doing a great job. I think he's just playing it safe right now because he knows that points aren't on the line tonight. All this is a starting position for next week.
Yeah, let's just feel this out and see how everything is. We said like the last race, what did we say? Student orientation, basically. That's kind of what we're watching here. And these guys have kept it clean so far, so for the most part, and no caution. So.
And Adam and Alan, you guys hit the nail on the head when you're talking about the difference in the car. We loved the ARCA cars. Remember when we were all in ARCA together? How much we loved that car after racing it for a whole season. And then we moved up to Xfiniti, and this thing's a different kind of hot rod, and it's harder to drive than a Cup car. So I mean, it's a huge transition. So the MPA guys, guys like Tim Harmon and other guys that just moved up from ARCA, they're, like you said, they're getting a feel of this car, and it's kind of like throwing them. Out of the frying pan into the fire here, but they're handling it pretty well so far. As Simone moves down. A lot of musical chairs up here, Adam. You see 35 of Ethan Flanagan pushing the 11 now. They got a pretty decent run. Well, maybe not. It looks like it's stalling out some. They need help from the 42. They desperately need that help.
Yeah, he needs to kind of get up in there, and his car can get up in there. It's just, is he willing to ride up in there? Is he feeling this car out? Like you said, this car's tough to drive. It forced me into retirement, to be honest with you. But it's fun to drive, but it's very difficult to drive, at least of the stock car
and not just
genre.
And not just feel, it's visibility too. Maybe the 42's not comfortable riding on the back of the 35 because he can't see what's coming, You're busy staring at the back bumper of that car. You can't see where the turn is.
Yeah,
Yeah, the 19 of Chris Watkins moving to the outside here, trying to make it 3 wide. He's one of the MPA end guys we talked about that just moved up, but he's going to need some help. He can't do that by himself as he moves to the back quarter panel of 42. He's going to have to duck back down here. That's not going to work. And I'm sorry, I misspoke earlier. I said Angel Hernandez was on MPN. He is not. He is on Bash Brothers Racing. Him and Andrew Colvin. It's like Gary Saxon in there, probably spotting for one of them.
but you talk about Chris.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, Chris Watkins, one of my favorites. You know why? Where's he from? He's from Texas, and he's a real race car driver. And I think he's going to have a good series. We've already seen him run a little bit, showcase his talents, and I think he's going to have a hell of a series this season.
3 wide again behind Degner. Speaking of Degner, he's the first car lap down, so if something happens, as long as he's not involved in it, and the yellow comes out, he'll get that lap back. No, 28 goes low. Yeah, no vacancy on the high line. Now, here we go. He was able to squeeze onto that low line here. Fortunately, he does have a little bit of help from the 54 of Wade Brooks and that M&M machine that joined a little bit late, 13 laps down, but he's staying up here with this pack.
They almost took it 3 wide right there. Man, they're starting to get racy. And what, 12 laps to go, it's looking like, somewhere in there. And so, time to throttle down, I guess.
Yeah, Alan Kewen's in the 60 machine. Started 13th. He's currently running in 10th on that inside line. Don't count him out. I mean, as long as you're within sight of the lead, we know what happens at these plate tracks. I mean, everybody's got a chance to win here because anything can happen up here in the front. Oh, big wreck. Degner involved in it. Oh, that's going to kill his lucky dog.
Oh, no. Ew.
Yells out finally.
There was car that came up, and I just was looking from this chopper position, but it looked like Eric Fiorello, I believe, got smoked out of nowhere.
Yeah, the
Was it
37 Aspires is also probably going to be taking
not
that
have
fast repair as well.
Might not have been Eric, but we'll have to take a look at it.
It's the 35 came out of the grass. Oh, that's after the start. I'm sorry. He came back onto the track. It's oh man. This is why you're the best in the business, Brown. You could see that stuff. The 11 and the 89 just weren't lined up.
Was it Eric or was it someone else? I haven't confirmed it, but whoever it was, they got drilled.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
It was actually Ethan Flanagan come up out of the grass and hit, looks like Matthew Spires in a 37 Budweiser car. I was just going off of color. So Eric Fiorello, the Italian stallion from Arkansas, it looks like he's fine right now.
Gavin Marlin racing 7G. That's Gavin Marlin that raced in the first of these duels. Says on Facebook, "Great show, guys. Can't wait to roll off P3 for the race." He's talking about the race next week, guys. That we're setting the starting order tonight, and he's eager. He's ready to roll, as are most of these guys.
And why wouldn't you be? I mean, it's gonna be quite the field. There's gonna be quite a few cars, and we're gonna have a good car count. We're gonna have a good turnout, and they're gonna show up and show out.
The Michael Chaney pitting in here in the 5 car. He'll be your first car 1 lap down. As long as he wasn't involved in that incident, he may get your wave around here. We'll see. I'm sorry, Lucky Dog. Yeah, that extra 6 seconds was maybe because he slid through his pit box, or he was too far left, too far right. Lord only knows, but I bet he wishes he could have that one back.
Yeah, I'm looking at Wade Brooks in the 54 M&M's car. He's quite a few laps down, but he's out there clicking laps off, and good on him for doing that. He's probably just testing out his machine for next week, but good looking car, 54 M&M's machine.
Somebody we hadn't talked about a lot tonight was the 80 of Pete Van Sprundle. I mean, he's the last car on the lead lap in 11th place, but when these guys restart here in just a minute, he's going to be right there within spitting distance of the lead.
You mean sneaky Pete Van Sprundle?
Yes, sir.
He's got a wizardry paint. There's like some wizard type things coming off his paint scheme.
Let's see. Let's check it out.
Psychedelic. I can't understand what's going on, but it looks cool.
Oh, he's running a Nidic Racing special paint tonight. Yeah, it looks like kind of like a neon sign on the front and back. Very cool with the fiery Phoenix wings right there in the Nidic Racing logo.
As we are stacked up, getting ready to go back to racing, Mike Simone gonna be your leader. Cheney already got his lap back. He was 2 laps down. Okay, cool. Thank you. Lance Hill's gonna be on his outside. Angel Hernandez is lurking in that top 3 now, so maybe that was a smart play of hanging back there. But as we go back to the green flag race, and Mike Simone leaving a big gap between himself and Angel, so Angel's gonna have to climb back up to that bumper, which he does to kind of help push him around this track, trying to stay ahead of Lance Hill as he works on that outside line side by side through turns 1 and 2.
Man, Chris Watkins in the number 19 Midwest Days of Thunder orange machine, man, he's working it, and he's pushing himself up to the front there.
Yeah, you had the 11 there pushing him, and Lance coming down, so he's going to be your leader, but Chris is fighting up on that high line, trying to get that momentum going again.
Eric Fiorello up 7 positions so far, and he's looking to pick up a couple more as he's sticking with this outside line. I think if he can get his teammate Alan Hewins behind him here, maybe they could push this 11 and 19 up to the front.
Anyone can win at this point. Let's just be brutally honest with this plate racing the way it is. But man, it's really clean, exciting racing here in both races tonight.
And let's talk about what they're going to win. I mean, with the order these guys finish in is going to be the order they start in on the outside line of the inaugural race of the season next Monday. So next Monday we're going to be at Talladega. As 11 finds himself all alone in the outside line there above Kewins. 11 dropping like a stone here.
That is not what that outside line needs, as it looks like Angel popping up to that high line trying to get a move going.
Here he comes.
That's where you can get hung out to dry real fast here.
He's getting a hell of a push from the 19. The 25's right there behind him. Wow.
Big run on that outside. Angel is almost clear of Lance. Not quite, so he's not able to come down.
They're staying as tight as the guys are on the inside, though.
And that is what you need if you're on that outside line, especially to get these runs off the corner and down these straightaways.
Yeah, this is the good kind of runs to have. These guys are staying close. Oh, the 19 got a little bit under the 42's bumper and caused a huge checkup that dominoes back to the 60.
No, but
they lost a lot of ground there.
Good save on the 42, just not to wreck though. So they are still up there running green flag.
And that Chris Watkins, he's in the Adrenaline Spike Designs paint as well. I think we needed to mention that as well. Adrenaline Spike Designs.
As Gary Sargent moves to that outside, looking to maybe get that line going again. We got 5 laps to go. When we cross the line, we will have 4 laps to go. It is starting to come down to crunch time.
So it's coming down to the wire. So now it's time to as you like to say, throw all your inhibitions out the window. It's time to throw caution to the wind. Let's freaking hammer down. It's never lift time here, boys.
Yeah,
I like it when he mentions the drinking helmet part. That's
Yeah, me too.
as the number 6 pink car of Lance Hill is being pushed by Mike Simone currently with the lead. Corey Wakefield in 3rd. Gary Sargent's in 4th on that outside line, trying to draw these guys back up, and they're starting to slowly gain momentum.
So your loyalties now, they're non-existent. It's crunch time. It's time to be selfish. It's time to take what you think is yours, and these guys are not going to give even teammates any slack here.
Yeah, there's no I in team, but there is a me. And he wants to go fast, so that's what we're going to see right now. We just have a couple more now.
Now, unfortunately for that outside line, as you can kind of see there, Mike Simone not leaving almost any daylight between the bumper of him and Lance. So these guys really, really need to start to form up to try to get a run going.
Yeah, your second pack is only 2 cars, and they're catching up to the front ones, the 35 and the 5. Not leaving a whole lot of room between them and the lead pack for activities. So they're catching up to Kewins here on the outside line, and they're in the hunt.
Oh, and not what the outside line needed there. You got Chris Watkins pushing it 3 wide again. I don't know if he just kind of got out of line, and that's where he ended up, but getting all squirrely back there behind him.
Oh, wow.
But they're going to lose some ground off of that.
37 Aspires got loose, and fortunately it didn't cause a huge wreck. He was able to recover.
Heck of a save.
The 19 insisting on using that outside line on the above the 25. He finally drops behind the 25 of Eric Fiorello. 60 comes up to do a little side draft action.
Let's see if this outside... ooh, wow.
He can't do it alone. There's no way.
Well, we're coming across the line. This is the white flag lap, so this is it. Already away we go down through turns 1 and 2. Gary finally getting some help on that outside, getting up towards that front at the back quarter of Lance Hill. Mike Simone still trying to push Lance, trying to maybe get a move later on as we run down this back straightaway.
Red Stick Mike is just too good a pusher. I think Lance has got this in the bag unless something bad happens here.
Yeah, 3 wide back there as they get all wiggly and jiggly. Mike Simone getting loose. Big wreck behind the leader. So Lance Hill, man, he's going to be able to drive and run away with this one quite easily. We're going to have to see who comes across the line, and it will be the 11 of Andrew Kobe with the 60 of Alan Kewins coming in 3rd.
Wow.
We just talked about anything can happen, you know?
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Eric Fiorello was making a move, and he got caught up in that. That type of stuff happens now.
Man, we're going to have to go take a look back at that and see what exactly happened. I think it looked like Red Stick Mike just kind of getting maybe a little help from the 16, got him a little loose, hit that apron, and away they went.
Yeah, he got a push that wasn't quite square from the 16, and they went up into the 28, and it was just dominoes falling after that.
And there was a couple things happening there at the same time in the I wouldn't say the back of the pack, but the back of that front pack, there was some wiggling and squirming and moving, and it was all happening at the same time, and made for the big one.
How about Andrew Kolb and Alan Kewins both up 10 positions to finish on the podium tonight? Great job, guys.
Yeah, that was a wild wreck, wasn't it?
Man, that was a heck of a finish to our second duel, which, we saw fewer cautions in this one, but it still doesn't matter. It always comes down to that very last lap.
Somebody posted in Facebook, dang old Red Stick wrecked the whole field. You might want to go back and look at that replay, bud.
Yeah, I'm not gonna start naming names, but I think if I'm Red Stick Mike Simone, I'm gonna remember that.
Adam S. in Facebook, or I'm sorry, in YouTube, also saying, "Wow, what a finish!" Yeah, it was. Everybody expected a great finish. We didn't expect as violent of a finish as we just got.
Well, and I love violence, so this was amazing, just like the first race. So, and I think it's going to carry over. People are going to start knowing who's their friend and who's not their friend. So, got a good warm up for next week's race.
Yeah, great job, Lance Hill, though, for hanging on and staying out of trouble there.
As we wait for our podium finishers to join us in that podium finishers channel, which we do now have, and that would be Mr. Alan Kewins finishing third. So he's going to start on that third row on the outside line there, man. How you doing today?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Dude, we're doing pretty good. That race looked like it was fairly clean, and we kind of saw you taking it easy, sitting not necessarily in the back, but not necessarily up front either at the same time. Man, talk about a heck of a finish there.
Yeah, I survived the end of it. Everybody piled up there coming out of 4, and I was lucky enough to survive.
Yeah, we sure enjoyed watching you race, man. As a former teammate, I mean, we were kind of secretly pulling for you maybe a little bit, but
Yeah.
we knew that you had the talent to move up here to the Xfinity, and we've raced Xfinity with you for almost a full entire season. So we know that you do have the talent to run up front, and this is the great equalizer. This is a plate track where you can get in a pack, and if you know who to run with, it can really help you out.
Yeah. Thanks for the kind words. I'm excited for the new season, a fresh slate, and hopefully we can make the chase at the end of the year. Had a good run tonight, so hopefully it's a precursor for what we see next week.
Yeah, so you mentioned survival, and that's what it was. And you came out on the podium, so that's good. And your partner, Angry Idiot Italian Stallion, Eric Fiorello, finished P5, so good race from both of y'all.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, we wish you nothing but the best of luck for the rest of the season, and we look forward to seeing you guys here again a week from today. We'll catch you later.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, so that will do it for our third place finisher. Let's see. I think
Second place.
Yeah, we'll try second place. He's not in the podium, but I'll try maybe dragging him up here. Hey, Andrew, you got a copy?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, we're doing good here, man. Man, that was a wild ride there at the end. You know, we didn't see a heck of a lot of you up at the front, but we did see you trying to push and help people up at that front. Talk about a crazy finish.
Yeah, that was a crazy finish. I'm not sure how I even got through that one, but it was fun. You know, I figured I might as well just push and try to learn how to race with everybody before to start leading or doing anything. So good race.
Yeah, man, you went from, looks like in turn 3 and 4 you were 11th, and then you finished second. So you went from chump to damn near champ, man. Congrats.
Yeah. I had a car, lag through me, and I just kept going. So
It looked good. Nice job,
Yep.
man.
Starting in 12th position, finishing second. You're up 10 spots. I mean, you can't go wrong. You and Kewins both up 10 positions today. Talk about how when you guys were 2 wide and like 5 deep. Could you tell who around you were your friends and who weren't? I mean, could you obviously tell which guys could hold a line better than others?
I definitely could tell that. Just trying to figure out who we want to work with. Try to help teammates when you can, but we never really seemed to get lined up with them. So just kind of did my own thing, and it worked out, I guess.
Yeah, so now that means you're going to be starting in that second row for the race a week from today. Is that kind of where you want to be at the start of that race, or were we expecting maybe a move kind of sliding back towards the pack?
I'd rather start up front. I think maybe try to avoid some of it. But on that last lap, when I guess the 37 got a little hit the apron, it was second lap or something, 2 laps to go. So I was like, okay, I'll finish in the back, whatever, no big deal. But hell, I'll take it.
All right, man. Well,
Yeah, you did. Congrats, dude.
Thanks.
yeah, congrats.
Thanks,
And we look forward to watching you guys again next week and for the rest of the season. We wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Good broadcast today.
Thanks. Appreciate it, man.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it, man.
Have a good one.
All right. And it looks like Lance is not popping up into that.
No longer in Discord.
He is no longer in Discord.
Well,
So
you know, he's up front enough. He's been interviewed enough. He's a damn good racer. So maybe he needed to go to bed.
you know, you could actually be right on that one. Excuse me while I get the right screen going here. So we'll do your field official rundown, and just know this is going to be your starting line here at the start of the next race next week. So Lance Hill having pole position on the outside, getting the win here tonight. Starting in row 2 next week will be Andrew Kobe finishing in second. In row number 3, you'll have Alan Kewins, who finished third, with sneaky Pete Van Sprundle gouging out a 4th place finish after that early incident. So good job coming back from him. Eric Fiorello finishing with a solid 5th place. He'll be in that 5th row next week. Chris Watkins doing pretty good. We saw him trying to make a move 3 wide there a couple times. So we look forward to seeing that next week as well. He's going to be in row number 6. In the 7th row, we will have Ethan Flanagan. And in row number 8, Angel Hernandez. In 9th row, it'll be Gary Sargent, and rounding out your top 10 rows will be Corey Wakefield.
Mike Simone actually finished 10th, first car lap down. Corey Wakefield finished in 11th place, and Michael Chaney being shown finishing 12th. Matthew Spires will be the 13th car on the outside line next week. 54, Wade Brooks. Had a late start because of connection issues, but he'll be starting 14th row on the outside next week. And Isaac Degner in the 98 will be finishing. He'll be starting 15th on the outside row next week.
Man, I tell you what, there is only one word that describes this feeling right now, and that is excitement. And that excitement is for this rest of the series, because we're in for great action-packed racing like we saw here tonight. But on that news, we are done here tonight. So I am Alan Brown, signing off for Mr. Alan English and Mr. Adam Turner. We wish you guys the best of nights, and we'll see you on the next one.
And thanks to Adrenaline Spike Designs, who will be our title sponsor for Xfiniti this season. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it, and we gone.
See ya.